So there's a lot of stuff that's going on as usual. And, the stock market seems to be liking President Trump's move for peace. Stock market's been up massively yesterday. A little bit today, probably going to be a big squeeze tomorrow for the shorts. That's what I figure. So it's going to probably be a pretty good tomorrow. Silver's getting a nice little pop. Gold's getting a nice little pop. I think that silver is really going to start to outperform now. I think if this goes into some kind of peaceful deal, which, God, it's like I've never been able to deal with these people. So we'll see. You never know. You never know. Trump's got the gift, the deal maker. So we'll see. But my thoughts are it's going to lean towards probably a ground war. But and where will that ground war come from? Possibly from Iraq, right? Because we still have a lot of stuff there because we conquered Iraq in 36 days. Iran's a little bit bigger, but they're not coordinated. The IRGC basically, if their thing was, if their leadership was taken down, which it was, then they would fracture into 31 different groups, which 31 different groups do not work well together, right? So that's kind of why we're probably seeing some of these groups are still striking out, even though there's some kind of coordinator somewhere. But for the first time in 47 years, looks like Iran will be actually on the negotiating table with high-level officials from the U.S. So maybe we'll see something here. So we're all hopeful. War is very bad, and of course, Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson and so a host of other people are like, have gone full retard. They're Alex Jones. They're all saying that Trump is the devil. And, even though Tucker Carlson back in, I think, 2007, somewhere around in there, says, I don't care if you don't like me or not, but the Muslims are evil, something along those lines. I'm paraphrasing. But now he's saying that President Trump should not be doing that. And because he's saying evil things about Muslims, that's bad. All right. So his daddy, Tucker's daddy, was part of the Pilgrim group or something. I think he's part of it too. CIA. So, can't expect a lot from the boy. And he's proven to be quite bad. And so these people are, going full retard, throwing as much mud out there as they can, trying to get some of it stick, trying to influence as many people as possible. So we got the mainstream media, you got the Democrats and a lot of Republicans. Marjorie Taylor Greene also fits into the full retard mode person, like Alex Jones and other people. So we're seeing it just break down. They're just breaking down. And if you listen to them, then the GOP is completely fractured, which is a lie. GOP are conservatives like us, people that are free thinkers, critical thinkers, and can look at someone that is a bullshitter and go, oh, you're a bullshitter, I'm not going to listen to you anymore. Then, some of these people, like Alex Jones, even though it was like, full crazy mode sometimes, he still came out with some really good stuff, I thought. But now, no mas, right? No mas, Alex. You bye-bye in my world. So, a lot of these people, they infiltrated, I think, into the MAGA movement on purpose. And now they're showing their true colors. So this is part of the awakening process, right? So it's moving along quite nicely. So regardless of, whether the Iranians claim that they're going to, make peace or whatever, it remains to be seen Now these their offspring that are here in America. We're going to Sheila to talk about this because she's been talking about this for quite some time. Their offspring that are here in America are getting shipped back out, and they're proving to be just as crazy and dangerous as their kinfolk. Soleimani and his two nieces, full retard mode, and they're like the guys that they were with. They're like, we don't want anything to do with those with that person because she's a full psycho and and dangerous. Like I'm saying, these people are dangerous. So they're going to ship back. It's crazy. They wanted to turn their country into some kind of dystopian slave race, where just like in all the other Marxist communist countries, the top people are treated and have, laws for thee, not for me type stuff. Same thing we see here in America, but in Europe. But and there it was an extreme case. So they were raping financially and otherwise their people, and now their people are just bomb the hell out of them. They're going to kill us anyway, and we're slaves here. So, if some of us go down, they've been killing us for years. If some of us die for freedom, that's great, no problem. Kill them, get them out, right? So this is where we're at in Iran and Hezbollah in Beirut, Lebanon, and also Hamas in the Gaza Straits, Gaza area. So all of them are being wiped out. And in my opinion, that's unfortunate that someone has drifted to the point where they're so psychopathic and such a massive threat to humanity that they have to be exterminated. Like rabid dogs or something else. You can't. There's no recourse for them. Their brains are fried and they're just going to attack. And if they bite you, then you get rabies. You have to get shots, or you could die too. So this is the way these people are. Rabid animals. If you let them get close to you, they're going to take control and kill us, right? So same thing is happening, across the world. These rabid savages. It's funny because in my show yesterday, I think I said savage a lot. Right? So somebody made fun of it. It's like, if I took a drink every time Mike said savage, I'd be like, under the table right now. That's a good one. So paraphrasing. So, I've lived amongst these people for a very long time. And I can tell you they're the people that are running Iran, they're savages, they're absolute savages. And there's no other way to describe them. I've seen what they've done to my friends and people, and to their own people. They want their own people to gather around places that Trump is threatening to bomb. So they don't care about their own people. And then their people, come to America and live the good life. I've seen this so many times when I was in the Middle East, traveling back to America. You get women that came on with burqas on, and then they go to the bathroom and come out and they've got Louis Vuitton and, just luxury, everything, and dressed Western. It's just this craziness, right? So yeah, we have to change this, and we have somebody on that can help give us some insights. Sheila, thanks so much.
Good evening. I was just sending you that term, TAQ. What is it? TAQYII. That strange term. Did you get that picture of that one?
No.
Because when I was at Mel Carmine's event, there was a woman from Ontario, Canada, and the husband said, "My wife is from Iran, but she's a Persian." And I said, "We're used to that because they flooded California with Persians. Nobody wanted to be called Iran when the Shah fell. They came and they're like, we're not Iranians."
Good.
So I'm going to send you this picture. I'm going to give it to you so we can pull it up, because this is exactly who they are. You've described the tribes and who they are. And I'm going to send you this picture. I'm sending it to pull it up and put it in the present, because I didn't know if you got all of these things. I sent a bunch of things to Tracy. But here it is.
Yeah, I have a couple videos to share too.
One it is. It's so exciting what's happening, because he's like, "Don't be panicking." And I don't know if you saw my response to that, because we're there.
Oh yeah. So yeah, didn't get anything from Tracy, but if you have it, you can share it there, and we'll.
Yeah, it didn't go to the desktop. It went somewhere else. So I'm gonna resend it to the desktop. And there we go. I went to the desktop and there's no name. How did that happen? So 202. Okay. Now I can pull it up. This is a term. I know you're going to love this. I know you're going to love this. It's a and you're probably going to be able to pronounce it because you were over there. That's the term. The president did all the final negotiations, and then he said, unless you're going to start doing, is it Takaya?
Takia?
Takia? Okay.
Takaya. Yeah.
So this is a powerful thing. And he said, unless you're going to do this to us. And so a friend pulled up the whole definition of it, and it explains exactly what we're already dealing with in America. It's already growing in America.
That's fascinating. Muslims are taught to deceive the Kafar, non-Muslims, about their true beliefs in order to defend the cause of Islam and jihad. This deception is called taqiyya, and we'll just call it that until we find out it's pronounced something else. Muslims will attempt to disassociate Islam from terrorist acts in order to win sympathy and public opinion, especially in countries where they are outnumbered by non-Muslims. They will say that such an act does not represent the true Islam, when in fact it does. Over 60%, is that 60%? 60% of the Quran contains verses about killing the kafir or forcing them to live under servitude as dhimmi and pay a heavy tax known as jizya. Dhimmis must defer to Muslims in all manners whatsoever. Islamic Sharia law requires all Muslims to pay a charity tithe called zakat. A portion of the zakat is required to be used to fund jihadists such as Al-Qaeda, Hamas, Hezbollah, and Taliban. If they truly oppose terrorism, they would not pay the zakat. Since 9/11, Muslims have committed over 23,000 acts of terror. 90% of all terror acts are committed by Muslims. Wow, that's amazing. I had no idea the stats were like that. Unbelievable.
And that's how they've had to live. So she was talking, Juan and I gathered with her at the end of the evening, and she was asking him a lot of questions about that area. And that came in the Q&A that we did toward the end of the last night of the event. And she said, my family. And he said, we're protecting the families. Just like what he said we're going to do here. We're going to protect the Americans over everybody else. Is that what people understand is the Persians are believers. And so they've had to commit to saying they're Muslim and dress like in the burqa as Muslims, even though they're not Muslim, because if you don't do that, you're killed. And President Trump just said, now this negotiation has only been a few days. It seems like it's only been a few days, and doesn't include what happened way back in June, just what's happening right now. And he said by the end of March, there were already over 40,000 killed. So then we head into April 1 that they called April Fools, because that's the new year. In essence, the first feast and festival is the Passover. And the Passover is the same date as Christ was on the cross. And so they call it that because all you fools are out celebrating this Christ on the cross thing, this Passover, this, all of that. And then 3 days later is resurrection. So that's Nisan 14 is the cross. Nisan 17, 3 days later, is when he resurrected, and that was April 4. So April 1 this year happened to be Passover, happened to be the day on the cross. I don't know how long that's how often that's happened. Somebody said it's the first ever that it exactly matched up, so that the 4th was on Sabbath, and that was Resurrection Day. And there was a picture I sent of a rainbow. I don't know, did you get that picture? There's a picture of the White House covered with a rainbow exactly the morning of April Fool's, which was Passover and the day he was on the cross. I'm going to resend all of these to you, probably one by one. She must think that I'm trained to do this, but you're the technical and I'm not technical. So I'm gonna try and get this to you. So let me see here. So there, someone took a picture, and it's a complete over the White House itself. The picture shows the White House covered in a huge rainbow, and this was right about sunrise on. I
think I might have found it.
April 1st. The what?
Is this
nope. That's the one. That's the one that Obama put up.
Okay.
That was when they did the pride flag on there. No, it was just I think it was a personal picture that was done. What is happening here? Oh, wants me to put a subject in. I am so sorry. Because I sent a bunch of pictures in. Okay, now it went through. And it's just such a beautiful depiction, and that it all happened at the same time. Now, April Fools, see, April 1st is considered like the beginning of the year, because that's the first feast and festival is Passover of the year. Because we go all the way back to the Roman calendar, which started in March, because they added Janus and February gods and goddesses after that. So,
yeah, when they changed it to January 1st, anyone that still connected, and this was I think the French did this, French king did this, so. They did it. You're a fool if you do not believe that it should be January 1st instead of April 1st. So that's where April Fool's Day came from.
Well, and that's why the killing. We lost over 700,000 people in the Civil War because of that battle. It's how that's how we have lived, just like they were living. And that's why that description was so unique. It's just like when the president put out Covfefe, everyone was like, where does he get these words? And then when the definition was provided, people were like, whoa, wait a minute. That's what they want to do to us, but they're already doing it. You've probably heard in Texas where they had, there's a woman going around, I don't know who all she's talking to, but she's around at all these different events saying, and all on social media, saying that that we don't understand in America. They've already set up 3 Sharia law courts in Texas. The 3 courts have all had a case and won the case. And so they said now Sharia law is established in America. That doesn't establish anything. That doesn't give them rights to do anything. But this is how they're living. So
yeah, they think they can, get away with that in some court, and it sets precedents. It does set precedents in our court system, in our Constitution. Yeah.
Yes, and so because that's not for them. Okay, there's how gorgeous is this? Just
that's beautiful.
Right before sunrise, and that was on April Fool's. And so then on Saturday, Sabbath, was Resurrection Day. And so then the first time that we never had the white rabbit. Did you notice that on Easter? The whole egg roll was all games and stuff. It wasn't about honoring the eggs and everything else. It wasn't about honoring the white rabbit. Remember when he did the white rabbit and he put the Y around the neck for the Y families? Well, this time they were in a brown suit. And did you see the meme that he showed who was under the brown suit?
Mm-mm.
Oh, you're going to love this. This is somebody you're going to recognize easily. This guy is in memes all over the place, all because of the president. And so they had the brown, they had a brown, a little bit of white on the tummy, but a brown bunny. And then when he took the ears off, it's somebody that you're going to recognize from, I just don't want to spoil all the fun. Okay. So now I'm sending this one. And when he had the children out on the lawn, they were playing all these games and everything. And desktop. Okay. And now here's the bunny that was out there that while he was taking a short break. Did you see this one?
I haven't seen that one, no.
So the bunny that they watch around all day, I don't know who does these things, but is that perfect or what? And it's so funny because see, the head is so much bigger than the bunny up above. and I don't even think he smokes, but I mean, I don't know who's doing these, but he's been the Shah of Iran. He's been the president of Cuba. He's been all of these things. But the humor is that is the bunny he had, and how they did the jacket and everything. I don't know who's doing this stuff, but it's just pretty profound. So, but I feel bad. I don't want to just load you up with a bunch of pictures, but there's some pretty profound stuff that, and there's a couple of things on Twitter that we could pull up that I sent too, because where we're at is that the president has made it very, very, very clear what he's doing. And when he did that lengthy, did you guys cover the press when he covered about the second guy that they were able to get back, and He gave all the details of it, and then he said about the guy that had done this, the guy that leaked it, is going to be dealt with. But he said everybody involved. And now come to find out, the guy, I don't know if you did this yet, but FBI was able to zero in. It's a guy with the Army background, and he was at Fort Bragg and then became an employee of SOCOM, and they got him. But they're also getting everybody involved in the whole process of getting it out to the media and getting it out publicly to put our guys in danger.
Good.
The whole betrayal, the whole trail of betrayal
should be held accountable. Because they know better than to put something like that out.
Mm-hmm.
Checking, and that's supposed to be the standard. So if the press, gets something like that and they run with it, that's a problem, because they put all those people in danger.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, they put people in Iraq in danger as well. But they don't care about their own people. They only care about control and power. but that happens here in America too. So there's obviously some connection that's going on, because there's a lot of generals that have just recently been released. All right. Like different generals, the very top one. And the deep state is being, rooted out.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's what's happening. That's what's happening. When I mentioned at Mel's event, I said, the same thing is happening in China, because people kept bringing up China. And did you know that a lot of the key people at the very, very top in China have been removed?
Oh, no, I didn't
know. We
don't
talk about it that much here, but it's happening there too. And so I said, sir, to Juan, I said, it sounds like out of the 6 or 7, there's maybe 6 that are already gone. He goes, no, I think it's still 5. I mean, he just very casually just looked at the crowd and said, no, I think it's only about 5. But yeah, they're making some changes, and that's all he said. So, wow. But I had never heard that they were relieving too. But all of this has been connected behind the scenes, and we were the ones that didn't know. Mm-hmm. All of these guys that are operating secretly against all of us are all connected globally. And I didn't picture that it was that widespread or that well controlled, but if you think about it, why was the Muslim Brotherhood here? And why were they in all the meetings? And why were they making the decisions? And why all the cash going over? And why all the on Obama's time? And so when you think about how the buildup was, at the same time, these 45,000 people that they just killed, that's nothing. But here's the funny part. Remember when everybody called the president King Cyrus, current day King Cyrus, and nobody really talked about it, and it was widespread. They were telling everybody, he's a King Cyrus, he's a King Cyrus. You remember all of that?
Oh, yeah.
Well, here's what they don't understand. King Cyrus is over Persia, and Persia is what they're now calling Iran. And so Persians are believers. And that's why when they all came to California back in the 80s, they were saying, we're not Iranians, we're Persians. But you have to say you're Iranian, you have to say you're Muslim, or you get killed. When President Trump did that press conference, he said that there were sports stars. You may know who they are. I was so shocked at some of the stuff he revealed. And he said, because they declared publicly that they're not Muslims and those are not their beliefs. And what they said this week, they were killed in public. They were shot down. Wow. It's just, and this is what happens. You have to say you're Muslim. You have to live as a Muslim. Exactly what that what is. And I didn't know this when I was hearing and talking with these people over the weekend, that this is how it is for them. And this is how they want it here in America. And they're already saying it. And they're building up. They're building 2 mosques every month in Texas, and nothing's happening to them. And how is this allowed? And so I hear these things, and how do we put the pieces together? Because what a miraculous time to be alive and realize that now the military is clearing up the military things. And remember when they said, we will fight until the 2-tier justice system is brought down. Good. And they're not going to allow this to continue to be this way in America. And so what has been happening is, here's what King Cyrus did in ancient times, guys, in ancient times. So the Armenians are the first ever declared believers in the world. The first nation ever declared to be fully believing nation was Armenia. And Armenia never had peace in the world, ever had peace. In all of history, they've never been at peace with their neighbor, Azerbaijan.
Yeah.
Okay. And so what did President Trump do after the Abrahamic Accords, after expanding them with the other nations? What did he do? He went out, and it was August 8 when it was finalized, and the 2 nations sat down on either side of him and signed a peace agreement. First time ever Persia was able to have peace. Armenia. So Armenia and the Persians, here's how it went. King Cyrus was over Persia. So King Cyrus is over Persia. He coordinates his military, his warriors, to go with the Persians, and the Armenians joined in. Why? They went into Babylon to get Judah and Benjamin out, the 2 tribes of the south of Israel that were marched off over to Babylon. So they get them out of Babylon. And now here's the hilarity. Everything about Babylon everything about Assyria that took the 10 tribes of the north. We don't understand history. Everything about that is now Iraq. Nineveh in Assyria is now Mosul in Iraq. And I don't know, they had one of Babylon, but the main reason they kept our guys in Iraq was to protect all of their historic stuff of what? Of Babylon that fell in ancient times.
Yep.
Do you see what I mean? But it was King Cyrus that went in and did all this. So King Cyrus went in and did all this. President Trump goes in and does all this. And what do they do about President Trump?
Was where the museum is that had the remains of Gilgamesh.
Oh, wow.
So they were going in to, protect that as well. So they sent in like Delta and guys, very high level guys to basically protect that and get that freed.
It's just, it's so amazing what is going on. Just so amazing what is going on. There's some other things I was going to send you here. But okay, so the history, Persia and Armenia going into Babylon, bringing out those tribes. So do you see the killing of believers, just like the Civil War, the killing of 700,000 plus people? And that's why here we're heading into this time of repentance and prayer for America. And what is it when we did the Faith Monument and the Man of Liberty was sitting on the head of the Lion of England. And he had already skinned it. And the limp paw was over his right shoulder. And he was holding one of the little, it's a singular, like a binocular, but a singular eyeglass that he's searching out over the horizon to make sure that tyranny doesn't come on these shores like it destroyed England and the other nations. And as they lived in England. And so they got away from it, wanted to be away from it. And there he is sitting on it. And here's what's really amazing. He's got his right foot on the history book of tyranny. They understood all of these secret societies. They understood all of these killings. They understood the pandemic every 20 years and every century. They understood what they were getting away from, and they were getting away from England. So here's what we're heading into on May 16 and 17 is that we're not just going to pray that our nation makes it through this. We're not going to just pray and rededicate the nation to the Lord. And people look at, well, you can't pick a religion. And that's why I sent that picture. You have the picture of the 4,200 religions, right? If you don't have that one, I'll send that one too. I'm sorry. I sent all of these in. I'm so sorry. So there are 4,200 religions of the world. And in the 4,200 religions, people wanted to know, well, why are you guys thinking one religion is going to control all this? It's not a religion. You either have faith in a living Lord or all the dead gods. There's one choice or the other. And the living Lord, Aleph, that put his signature across America, is the one living that loves us, has his hand upon us, wants us to live, gave us this land, protected the Pilgrims, protected the Native Americans. They always had a place to go. They always had, and the wisdom in them and the truth in them has never left them. For 4,000 years, you can talk to any chief, and I've been honored to talk to several across America. They still know the same truth from 4,000 years ago. They still know exactly how this all lays out. The wisdom in the Native Americans is what they gave up for us. They sent them to the other side of the Mississippi to not have the truth for us. So they always get rid of the truth people across the world because they don't want us to know the truth. So truth is the living Lord. And the other kingdom is death. And you can call it Muslim, you can call it the Hezbollah, the Hamas, and supposedly Israel funded them. Remember, they said Israel funded them, and then they said, no, Sheila, it's Iran that's funding them. No, it's Iraq that's kept them going. Guys, you just saw in what Michael read, it's the Muslims that are funding all of this. And everybody's been playing tennis with which country is the one doing all of this. And in that document, that's why the president used that word. He said, I think everything's going to go well unless you are operating in this, which means you want to deceive us, because I'm not going to put up with it. Because if you want to operate this way, we're going to come back, hit you harder. And that's what he said to the people in social media this week. He made it very, very clear. I'm not going to put up with this. You're going to have to do the right thing. And I've already extended all of this. I've been as gracious as I can. There's no more being gracious. I'm done. He's letting him know I'm done. This is what we're going to do. And, okay, 4,200.
Let me pull up this one video that talks about Soleimani's nieces.
Wow. Okay.
What's going on with them? So I kind of brought this up yesterday, and I said that hopefully I can have Sheila come on and talk about this. So
sure. And for you, sure.
Fox News report.
Well, the niece of slain Iranian General Qasem Soleimani is apparently not happy with her new digs at an ICE detention center in Texas after a life of luxury she enjoyed in Los Angeles. She's reportedly called her former boyfriend for help to escape the facility. But according to the New York Post, he declined the call, saying this, quote, "I don't want anything to do with her. She scares me. I was so afraid of her. She knows how to make herself seem like an angel, and you feel like the devil. She takes advantage of every man she knows." Now, another man, a Los Angeles hairdresser, said this about the situation. Thank God after hearing of her arrest by ICE. He said, "That's good. She's a stalker." In court filings, he said the woman subjected him to emotional abuse, harassment, and that she threatened to hurt herself. All of this highlighting a tale of two Irans. Ordinary Iranians facing crackdowns and executions, while top government officials quietly send their children to benefit from the West. That includes notorious Iranian regime leader Screaming Mary, whose son allegedly teaches at a college in LA. Just the tip of the iceberg, Sandra, because there's multiple professorships that are held by the children of former Iran regime holders that benefit from the West, blast the West, and essentially also live off the blood money of those Iranians at home who are being executed for protesting and showing their hair.
It clearly looks like the height of hypocrisy, right? Because those are the same people enjoying our freedoms who are not calling out the brutalities of the regime. While you were speaking to that intro, Emily, we were showing those human chains that were forming yesterday that we were reporting on, many of which included women and babies, young children, that Iran was clearly putting up to protect those key sites in Iran as President Trump's threats grew, putting them on the front lines, while at the same time, apparently what we're learning is they're sending their own offspring, their own children to come enjoy the freedoms of America.
So, yeah, that's what we're seeing. So she talked about the Screaming Mary. That was one of the students that was at the embassy where they were holding our people hostage for 444 days. During the Carter administration. And, then President Reagan came in and said, they'll be released or there's going to be hell to pay. And then when he came in office, they released them. So that they only know power and strength. I've been around these people for, several decades. They're very brutal, like you saw, and they don't care about their people. They're having the people surround the areas that Trump was talking about targeting, so that they would be killed, and they could say, see what your president did. So that's, I think, one of the reasons why he's like, oh, we're making a deal. It's like, so they're having to, switch their how they're going to strike, or if they're going to strike or whatever. But I think that they could come from Iraq, because Iraq has many U.S. military bases, and of course all the equipment that we sent there to take down Iraq in like 36 days. That could just go right over and go right into Iran and take Iran down. Maybe 40 days. I don't know. Maybe less.
The truth is, that's what they want. What you just shared in that video is how they have always operated here.
Yeah. They
tell us that they want to be here, but that's why Trump has said, you don't want to be here, go. You don't want to operate, you don't want to assimilate in America, go. You don't want to operate like an American, go. And they don't think they're realized, but it's just like all of these people that were given track phones They don't know why ICE is finding them where they work or where they eat or where they live. How did you find me? Well, you got a track phone. And so we don't just track Americans with track phones. We track you guys too. So I've got some new stuff for you. So there was something miraculous that happened today that I can say while I'm still sending these things. Do you remember when we did a interview on the devotional?
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that the devotional was the #1 recommended book on the email from Amazon today?
Oh, wow.
And so I sent a picture to Juan and Stacy, and I can send you a picture of it. I don't know if I sent it to Tracy too.
Yeah, unfortunately, she's running around right now. She might be getting them, or if she's getting them, I don't know. She's not sending them to me. So
okay, well, I've got the 42. That's the 4,200 religions. So when people say, "What religion is he talking about?" President Trump made it really clear. He came back and said, "My religion is faith in Christ, and faith in Christ is my religion." And he made it really clear. How many rallies was he pointing to heaven and saying, "That's the boss. God is the boss." And so I have another one for you where he confirmed it.
So what do you think about all these supposed MAGA supporters like Tucker Carlson and Alex Jones and all these people that are really heavily attacking Trump now?
I think we're finding out who people are.
Yeah, exactly.
Because when I sent it out, and I don't know, did you see the response on Il Donaldo Trumpo of Tucker Carlson? And to Tucker Carlson, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna send this. Can you pull up the email from me, Office at His Best? Because this is the one, and I want you to see it before. On the Tucker Carlson, because I sent it to him, because this is what Tucker said. When President Trump said what he was going to do in Iran, what did Tucker do? Tucker turned around and said that the president desecrated Easter with this announcement, because he used some terminology. But he'd already been negotiating, and then finding out they're not even interested in negotiating. They just really don't even care.
No.
And so so I'm going to send you one because I don't want to put it up on the to-go unless you think we're okay, because it was just kind of fun, because I gave the whole summary. He had a guy on, I think it was Sunday night, and I sent the interview to you and to Tracy, and I said, it was the most disturbing interview. I couldn't even keep listening to it at one time. I had to keep turning it off. Then I was scrolling forward. Then I thought, did I miss something? And where's the meat? Where's the beef? Remember that gal? And so I'm going through it, and he's talking about Paula White. And then he talks about Paula White back under T.D. Jakes. And he doesn't say anything. He said there were scandals. He doesn't say anything about Benny Hinn in Italy with her. He does after they both got their first divorces. And then he went back and married his wife. He doesn't say anything about her being under Kenneth Copeland and always having hands laid on her from Kenneth Copeland and giving her new blessings with her new husband, who changed his name, the singer from Journey, changed his last name from his family name to the name Kane. And he didn't go over any of it. He didn't go over any facts, just kept making vague statements, pieces. The way I describe it is it's pieces. Then they tried to connect the dots with the pieces, and they didn't connect. And then did this whole thing against what President Trump is doing. And so what came out from Il Donaldo Trumpo is a response. And to me, it's so profound. And it's funny, because when you do this, sometimes we have to come back to humor to describe what it is that you're doing. And the humor is just pretty profound, because when you see the picture of him So I'm just sending it to you now. And it's going to come in from the His Best. And it's got Tucker in it. Do you see it?
No, it's not coming through on my stuff.
It may go into your other folder because I sent everything to you guys because I couldn't attach anything to Gmail today.
Oh, that's good.
Do you see what I mean? And I don't know. I think it'd be fun to share because it's humor, but it's like you want to say that he desecrated Easter. Do you even understand the truth about Easter? But I did not know. People are talking now, and I forgot. I think. Did you know his dad was CIA?
Yeah.
And I didn't know any of that. And they said he's committed to his dad. He can't back the president on some of these things. And I'm like, back him on Easter?
You know anything about a pilgrim group?
I heard there's a horrible one like Pilgrim Society or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Well, that's not a real group. And they're blaming them for a lot of stuff that we've gone through, but I don't understand it. What is the Pilgrim Society thing?
Yeah, I don't know. So I just heard it, and somebody said it was like really bad. So I guess I have to do research on it.
Well, they're trying to say that I don't understand pilgrims because the Pilgrim Society is such a horrible group. I said, if it's a secret society, it probably is. And the pilgrims didn't rule over anything. The pilgrims were like the free thinkers, like the Quakers.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, so
this is good. So it's researchers at Stanford University have utilized first century anthropological data, population genetics, and forensic techniques to create a 3D hyper-realistic facial reconstruction of Judas Iscariot. So we got Tucker Carlson there. Very good. And that's true. He is. He was a huge Trump supporter. Trump took him in, after he got, dumped by Fox. Help make him great again. So, and then now he's turning on Trump. So it happens so many people, doesn't it? It's crazy.
Well, and you know what's really adorable? Did we share the little video that was done like a Mission Impossible, and it was with Joe Kent?
I'm not sure if we did or not.
Did we share that? Because picture Joe Kent sitting at a computer, and he's typing away, and nobody noticed it. I had to have everybody go back and look at it a second time because off to the right it said top secret, transfer of data happening now or processing now. And so that was a little sign over to the right, and nobody realized that sign was there. And it's Joe Kent, and he's sitting there, and he's one of the people. Marjorie Taylor Greene is one of the people. Alex Jones is one of the people. They've got like a lineup, like FBI's Most Wanted with all of these pictures on it, and it's all of these people. And so what I was sharing is that this is craziness because Joe Kent is sitting there typing all this stuff. Then he grabs a thumb drive, and then you know how Mission Impossible music is. It gets more dramatic, and he's in a vehicle, and he's on a highway, and it's late at night, and there's two lights, some headlights coming toward him, and that's all you see is that he's speeding to get there. He gets to this diner, and then he's sitting at a table, and all you see is Tucker Carlson sitting across. He's handing him the thumb drive. And then you see the back of FBI jackets. See, they're taking Joe Kent out. Okay. Then they point the camera back on Tucker Carlson, and then all of a sudden the mask is starting to come off. The guy is pulling the mask off, and as he pulls the mask up, here goes the blue tie, the blue jacket, the blue shirt. He wears those blue casual shirts with a bow tie. Here comes all of that. It all comes off. And you know how Trump is, even his red tie has to get out of his way. And so the red tie is over to the side. When all of this comes off, the red tie falls into place. The shirt's crisp white. The blue jacket is pristine, right? And then it's President Trump smiling at you. And he's got the thumb drive. And the very next day, Joe Kent steps out, gets fired, retires, resigns, whatever he did. And Joe Kent's in a picture now with Tucker and everybody on the FBI's Most Wanted.
Wow.
And so,
and again, you know, President Trump took in Joe Kent. He was, you know, just, you know, taken down, taken apart, whatever. Let him come back, and it's probably CIA spook, as somebody's saying in the chat. I agree.
Mm-hmm. Well, to give up where we're at, to top secret data transfer processing now, and he's handing it to Tucker. Is this? And you think that's right? But see, that's the way the mainstream media always got their information, but it was never information you and I were ever supposed to know. So it was helping them, but then they were giving us the lies, which is what we've been living by, which is how the Muslims live, is that they lie for their own protection.
Oh, yeah.
And that's not their plan at all. And they have to do what Muhammad wants them to do. And Muhammad didn't even exist until the 600s. So.
Yeah, there's you know, I've known a lot of Muslims, but you're right. They're scared to get out of line because they'll get killed. You know, I've talked to people from lots of different groups, and they just have to. They're in the Muslim world, so they have to, like, you know, say they're Muslim and act like they're Muslim, but they don't really, you know, follow Muslim traditions at all. But they have, like you're saying. Otherwise, I talked to this gentleman that was he's from Turkey, and he was telling me how they had to take on a Muslim, you know, religion to stay alive. Otherwise, you know, he talked about how groups of them were like forced into buildings and churches and so forth, Christian churches, and they were burned alive. So they're like, okay, yeah, we're Muslims now. So.
No, boy.
Yeah.
I'm giving you some more. I'm finally catching up.
Nice. The truth is like a lion. You don't have to defend it. Let it loose. It will defend itself. St. Augustine. That's a great one.
And that's where we are. That's why the president, and he has never made a promise. It hasn't come to pass. He's never said anything he's going to do that he doesn't do. He's never offered something that he didn't do. I mean, it was so emotional. You know a whole lot more about this than I do about what they're doing. But when I heard that whole press conference and how Radcliffe came from the CIA and said there was one piece of this, only one piece that we were able to help with, that they didn't have whatever it was to do to find the guy under that new communication system. So he did that aspect of it. Then they turned it over to Hegseth, and Hegseth said what they did. But the president describing this whole thing, and then and he even said some things that Raising Cane didn't say. And to have hundreds of guys up in the air, have hundreds of guys in each of these pieces of equipment, to have backup lighter equipment that didn't have all the medical stuff and everything in it because they just knew the guy was bleeding. And so they carried all the stuff they needed. So Raising Cane had a backup plan that if the sand was going to be too wet and they couldn't get a lift off, right, from picking him up, that they had these other planes to then transfer it all into, and that all of this was done. I mean, it wasn't even 48 hours, was it, from this whole thing happening? And they had all these teams all over Iran, and their radar's already gone. I mean, all their communications messed up. I mean, everything's messed up for them, but they're listening to people. I think there's 6 planes over there, and I think there's 4 planes over there. I think the guy was over there. You know what I mean? Because look what that put them into by somebody leaking that they got one out, but there's still one that's in danger. It's like, why? You know what I mean? And so put all of these guys in harm's way, and then here they are. So, but what I shared after the one about the president saying that, you know, there's politics and there's government and everything else, but it's all about God. He's trying to get us back to what the Pilgrims gave in this nation. That's why we're such an unusual nation. We were committed to following the truth and being at peace with our people. And life is precious to us. And the other kingdom, the life is not precious. And so there's a clear distinction. And that's why I say, if you don't know who you are or whose you are you with truth and life, or do you believe in death? I mean, and I'm not trying to decide for you. I'm not trying to convince you. I'm not trying to have you shift. It's just, you're making a choice, whether you think you're making a choice or not. But that's why it's in our Constitution, natural born for president. You can't come here and have an anchor baby and then have that baby who's the family who's not even committed to America be a president of this nation, because that's how it goes off. And we did that miraculous interview that nobody knew about, of the sheriffs. That isn't even their name, Bush, and they weren't legally for candidate, and they weren't American born, and their parent. Bush 41 was born in Germany, in the German Navy before he came to America. His parents were German. And so then 43 didn't either, because his dad is 41, who didn't qualify because he was even born in Germany and his parents were German. And so it's the whole family that was never supposed to be there again. As of September 1963, when President Kennedy and AG Robert F. Kennedy met with him, Prescott Bush, and they knew that was his SS name, and with Hitler, and they knew that he had all of these things that he did with Tesla, selling all of Tesla's patents over his inventions over to Germany. They knew all of this, and so they released everything to him by saying, just sign that nobody in your family will ever be in our government again. And guys, look what they have done. They're the ones that brought in the Noahide laws. I mean, they live a different life, and so they're one thing.
Signed an agreement with those two. That's probably why they killed both of them.
Killed both of the Kennedys?
JFK and RFK.
They had to get rid of him, and it was only Bush 41 that was even debriefed, not the team. It was only the leader of the team, Bush 41, that was debriefed by Hoover the day after 11/22 of 63. And so there you go. I mean, now that we have the opportunity to have the records and we know the truth, it was only 2 months later when his son, who was never going to be in the government again, nobody in his family was going to be in the government again, was in charge of the CIA team that took him out. And debriefed by Hoover, who was also secret. These are all secret society. They're all connected. We don't know what they're doing or how they're planning. All of this has to change. So when people ask me, what do you think is going to happen with the election in 26? I said, why even have an election? Has anybody missed our government? They're still not there. No. They're saying we're at war, and they're not even meeting. And it was the write-up that they have for this new thing that they want to pass. Johnson was just saying what it is, and it's horrible. And he said they want us just to sign it. We're not going to sign it. They've got to get back here and discuss this with us. This isn't right. And this is what they want to do against the American people. And it's not right. So they're proving all of this to us. There's just so much. And I'm so sorry some of this was kind of scattered today, but that letter is the letter the president wrote. And I don't know if you want to go over that. And then we are where Samuel Adams said we are. And so that's why I wanted to have those two to you. And there's so many other things I sent, but I don't want to take up all of my time looking up these things and transferring them in. we'll do another follow-up if you want to, because so much is happening around this Iranian situation. In fact, after this, and that's why he sent out that Tadkai or whatever it is. Did you know, don't you, that they did an explosion of a tanker underneath the bridge at the Panama Canal?
Yeah, I saw that.
And you can see in the explosion, there's no cars in front, there's no cars behind, and when they exploded it, there was a whole lineup of cars going by. They're always into death. Everything that they have done communicates exactly who they are and what they're doing.
Yeah. So this is a letter, President Trump, based on conversations with Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif and Field Marshal Asim Munir of Pakistan, and wherein they requested that I hold off the destructive force being sent tonight to Iran, and subject to the Islamic Republic of Iran agreeing to the complete, immediate, and safe opening of the Strait of Hormuz. I agree to suspend the bombing and attack of Iran for a period of 2 weeks. This will be done. This will be a double-sided ceasefire. The reason for doing so is that we have already met and exceeded all military objectives and are very far along with a definitive agreement concerning long-term peace with Iran and peace in the Middle East. We received a 10-point proposal from Iran and believe it is a workable. I just lost that.
A workable basis on which to negotiate. Almost all of the various points of past contention have been agreed to between the United States and Iran, but a 2-week period will allow the agreement to be finalized and consummated. On behalf of the United States of America as president and also representing the countries of the Middle East, it is an honor to have this long-term problem close to resolution. Thank you for your attention to this matter. And then there's this explosion. So then he sends out the message from Il Donaldo Trumpo. Yeah, but however, if you do, Takai, if I find out that's how you're operating, then I'll be operating that same way. And it is going to be harder and deeper and stronger and more horrible upon you. He's not going to put up with this. And they're not going to get away with it. But
ye love wealth better than liberty. We can ask that of probably Tucker Carlson and a lot of those people. The tranquility of servitude better than the animating contest of freedom. Go home from us in peace. We ask not for your counsels or your arms. Crouch down and lick the hands which feed you. May your chains set lightly upon you, and may posterity forget that you were our countrymen. So yeah, that's coming for a lot of people.
So it's not just ICE getting people out. It's not just, we're still in the place where there's a lot of people here that are here for a different purpose, and we can even comprehend. We don't even think like these people think. And that's how they get away with this. And that's how they took over Persia. But I'm still praying that Persia will be able to be Persia. Armenia is now going to be able to be Armenia, and I really hope and I trust that's where he's headed with this, because they're not going to have any options.
No. And I think it's going to be really hard for them to get them to agree, because they don't agree. They just string you along and lying to you the whole time. So he's going to let them. I guess I don't know what the 2 weeks means. As far as like more buildup, because he said also in a post earlier today, I think, where he said we're not going to move any troops. Everything that's there is going to stay there until we know for sure that we have an agreement. So,
well, they really haven't opened up the Strait of Hormuz. But have you seen the pictures? And I don't think this is a NATO building, but have you seen the picture? It has capital NATO, and then they have the explosions, and then all of a sudden he's walking forward with the sunglasses on. I love what he does, as he's done it so many times. And then all of a sudden this fireball follows him and the whole NATO building is completely gone. But people thought we were doing good things about NATO, but look what he has proved, that none of them care about us. None of them are ever going to help us. None of them are ever going to stand with us. So why are we doing all this? Their bases we couldn't even fly over their countries or operate with their bases over there to get help to handle this. And it's affecting them too. And they don't even want to help. That's for that to be proven to the American people. This has been quite a week. And that's why, I will get more to you, Michael, because this is so exciting. Every day has just been like, oh my God, this is happening. Oh, this is great. Oh, look what he's doing now. Oh, he handled that. I mean, it's just, we went from whack-a-mole to handled. It's been miraculous. And we're in a whole different place.
A lot of people are like, they started this war because they wanted to get away from Epstein. Well, today we had Melania come out and open that can of worms even to a greater extent. So let's listen to what Melania said.
Here's the First Lady, Melania Trump.
With the disgraceful Jeffrey Epstein need to end today. The individuals lying about me are devoid of ethical standards, humility, and respect. I do not object to their ignorance, but rather I reject their mean-spirited attempts to defame my reputation. I never been friends with Epstein. Donald and I were invited to the same parties as Epstein from time to time, since overlapping in social circles is common in New York City and Palm Beach. To be clear, I never had a relationship with Epstein or his accomplice, Maxwell. My email reply to Maxwell cannot be categorized as anything more than casual correspondence. My polite reply to her email doesn't amount to anything more than a trivial note. I am not Epstein's victim. Epstein did not introduce me to Donald Trump. I met my husband by chance at a New York City party in 1998. This initial encounter with my husband is documented in detail in my book, Melania. The first time I crossed paths with Epstein was in the year 2000 at an event Donald and I attended together. At the time, I had never met Epstein and had no knowledge of his criminal undertakings. Numerous fake images and statements about Epstein and me have been circulating on social media for years now. Be cautious about what you believe. These images and stories are completely false. I'm not a witness or a named witness in connection with any of Epstein's crimes. My name has never appeared in court documents, depositions, victim statements, or FBI in interviews surrounding the Epstein matter. I have never had any knowledge of Epstein abuse of his victims. I was never involved in any capacity. I was not a participant, was never on Epstein's plane, and never visited his private island. I have never been legally accused or convinced of a crime in connection with Epstein's sex trafficking, abuse of minors, and other repulsive behavior. The false smears about me from mean-spirited and politically motivated individuals and entities looking to cause damage to my good name, to gain financially and climb politically, must stop. My attorneys and I have fought these unfounded and baseless lies with success and will continue to maintain my sound reputation without hesitation. To date, several individuals and companies have been legally obligated to publicly apologize and retract their lies about me, such as Daily Beast, James Carville, and HarperCollins, UK. Now is the time for Congress to act. Epstein was not alone.
So that is exactly what I wanted to get to. Now is the time for Congress to act. Epstein did not act alone. So also Epstein, now that he's gone or wherever he's at, so that hasn't ended. What Epstein was doing, that has absolutely not ended. And if you think so, you don't have a brain in your body. So that's why Congress, and I don't believe we can depend on Congress, but some entity with some authority like Congress, because I think probably Congress will be completely replaced at some point in the near future, hopefully, and the Senate. But some entity needs to investigate this and start to expose who is involved with Epstein, probably a lot of those congressmen and women, and then we have to, and senators, and then we have to look at where did that go? Because it didn't end. P. Diddy parties, they're out there somewhere. Epstein Island vacations for the elite, it's out there somewhere. So we need the investigations. What do you think, Sheila?
It's absolutely true. Eisner made the big guy at Disney. He made a really big deal out of the fact that he had to take the guy that was going to replace him when he moved up to chair. He had to take the guy that was going to be president, had to go to Epstein Island first before he could get that promotion confirmed.
Wow.
So that's how it was being operated. That's why the Disney cruise ship stopped there for family snorkeling. And then they've got the submarine underwater, and a youth director off of the Disney cruise ship disappeared. And nobody's dealt with any of this. But our Congress is so compromised. They're saying that 93 out of the 100 senators are in deep trouble.
Wow.
But where's the second half? Because here's the other thing. I haven't seen you since you did the interview with Juan on Bondi, and that I keep starting it and getting into it, but I haven't heard the whole thing. But how are they putting Todd Blanche in there? Todd Blanche is the guy that stopped Tina Peters. Everything was set up 4 times to get Tina Peters handled and out of there.
Really?
And
wow.
Todd Blanche was the block. So
wow.
How is he now moving into, unless he has to be taken on next? Do you see what I mean?
Yeah. Exposed. Yep.
Yeah, because our government isn't doing anything for us. And you know what? I don't think we're missing any of them. Are you notice anything in your life that you're missing because they're nowhere around?
No, not at all. And in fact, that SAVE Act that they were supposedly going to vote on, but they, skedaddled out of Washington for a little break. That's not needed because they don't do anything. Florida has already made it law, the SAVE Act. Mississippi, South Dakota, and Utah, all 4 have already made that the law. But yet our Congress and what was it, 85% of Americans want the SAVE Act to go through, yet they can't pass it. It's unbelievable. Even Democrats want the SAVE Act for the most part. For most Democrats want it. I think it's 100% of GOP, but it's insane. It's insane that they can't get anything done.
Well, there's something where they've changed the wording. And Johnson, I thought they're not in, so I thought it was old. But he's talking about what they haven't voted on yet. And he said that they added these terms, and he wanted Americans to know, and they need to get back here and clean it up. I'm going to find that for you because it was Speaker Johnson that brought this up. And he said, you're not going to believe the words. So I'm going to and he read them. I'm like, oh my God. And he said, we cannot resolve this and continue to just pretend like it doesn't exist? And why are they not rushing back here to get this handled? So are they on a spring break because their kids are on a spring break, or what is going on?
Yeah, they're on spring break. So yeah, already law, like I said, in Florida, South Dakota, Utah, and I think I must have skipped through Mississippi. Yeah, Mississippi. There's Mississippi. So it's already done. I mean, states can go ahead and pass it. We have to just start to work around Congress because they're not doing anything for us. So we the people have to get this thing moving.
Well, and are you hearing? It sounds like there aren't going to be any in Congress. It sounds like we're going to be going to. Remember when we did that Q&A and Juan joined us and he was talking about the election and is like, so what's going to happen in 2026? I don't see across the country. I don't see how we can have an election with where we're at and what's going on and how Congress is upset because they're saying we're at war. If we were at war, why aren't they in their seats? Exactly. Why aren't they just something? And I can't put my finger on it, but this Johnson thing is bothering me. I'm going to find this Johnson thing for you because you would understand exactly what he's saying. Because I was just like, what are they not voting on? And what words did they change? Because I thought it was all done. But
yeah, they inserted something in there. I know what about. I don't know exactly what it was because it was kind of like the last minute type thing. It's like we're not going to pass this. We're going to have a clean bill, and we're going to pass a clean bill. When? Mm-hmm. Okay. So we'll see. We'll see these shysters what they come up with. But
Speaker Mike Johnson. Maybe it's here. Okay, here it is. The Save America Act is about proof of citizenship to register to vote and using a photo ID when you do so. Why are Chuck Schumer and the Democrats against this common sense measure? Because they want illegal aliens to vote in our elections. And this looks like the same interview that he was doing.
Okay.
Press. Yeah. And but I'm going to get this for you because he was really upset, and then he said, and this is the way it was going to be, but now this has been inserted, and so they're just drawing it out. They don't want to change where we're at. That's why we still have machines and we still have mail-in ballots. They're not correcting a thing, not realizing that. I mean, I think we covered it on 24. Our guys were in those warehouses when those white box trucks showed up with those extra ballots all filled out. They still did the same thing in 24. So we can't continue to keep letting this be the way it goes. And who has cleaned up the voter rolls? They aren't even requesting any cleanup of the voter rolls. So that's why we knew we had to start over. But to start over, we should have started by September last year. We needed so many months to get the whole thing done.
Yeah.
So, but what a blessing to be with you today. This is such a neat surprise. And I'm sorry I'll be better at getting you all this stuff because I still owe you a bunch. But I don't want to take up the time just constantly on my phone transferring things. But there's just so much meat to get out to the people because it's actually everything's happening, guys. Everything is happening. And so we've been waiting for this. And people go, why is there such a lull? I don't know where the lull is. Do you know a lull that somebody's talking about?
Well, I think the lull is like we're the rest and, the finish of the war, and so blast the hell out of them, get it done. Yeah.
And we're getting it done, which is a miraculous thing. It's always just so amazing to be on with you. And when that whole thing happened, that's what I didn't put up there. I didn't do the thing on the book, and I think it's all because of you, Michael. I think it's all because of you because. I don't know how this happened today, but that it happened today is just really funny. And, but I think I already sent it in, but I'm going to send it to you personally now. It's the email. In fact, I think I sent the email from me receiving it. I think I sent that to both of you. Let me see here. On the Gmail. And because this has never happened. Devotional recommend. Yeah, I sent it at 4:25. So do you see it on your email?
I don't see it on mine.
I'm gonna resend it.
That thing you sent me, his best. I got that one. So if you send it in that same one.
Okay. Okay, I just sent it in Gmail, and now I'm gonna send it over to I'm sending it over to his best, and now I'm going to send it to you from his best too. But I sent it again from Gmail. I just forwarded it. And now I just got it in his best, and I'm going to forward it to you from there.
So you're talking about where it was featured as the next read?
Yep, number one on the recommendation. Yep. More like your recent read. And there it is. Do you see the one right below?
The Space War Total Recall book?
Yep. But Antarctica's on there, and there's a couple that I'm interested in that are below that. The Greatest Templar Tale Never Told. That interests me. And the one right below that is Forgotten Home Apothecary, because going back to the natural things. So those both interest me, so I'll probably order those tonight. But isn't that wild? And I think it's all because of that interview by Michael Jaco, who gave me such a great compliment about the first 5 or 6 days. This one looks good. The Greatest Templar Tale Never Told, because we never got to hear about the Templars. So I'm going to get that one, and then the one right below on Apothecary.
Oh, nice.
Because I worked with, because I grew up on a farm, and everybody handled everything. We didn't do doctors. We didn't go to, you know what I mean? You got this going on. This is how you take care of it. You know, but I haven't been around that kind of stuff for a long time.
Wow. That looks fascinating.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
I like the ship on the front too. I just like that kind of stuff. What's going on? But I think this is all due to Michael Jaco. So I sent it to you guys as soon as I got it. So, because this has never happened to me. This has never, ever happened to me where I'm a recommended book for Amazon. They do this once a month where they recommend. Yeah. So thank you very much, Michael Jaco. I owe you guys another dinner. I'm adding it onto the list. So
good. Are you going to that Las Vegas event that wine's throwing again?
Yes. I already registered, already got the room. I'm all set.
Very good. Yeah.
You guys going to be there? Oh,
yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. I think that's going to be a fabulous event. Are you guys going to be in DC 16, 17?
I'd like to try and do that. We'll have to see what's going on. We got a lot of stuff going on around the time frame. We might be able to do it.
Okay. If you can do it, let me know, because there's an event on the night of the 16th.
Okay.
It's a tight thing, but I think I can get you guys in. So let me know.
We'll look into it and see what happened.
Yeah, I'll let Tracy know where we're going to be, because we're going to be right there. We're going to be just walking. We're not going to be driving anywhere. We're going to stay right there. And so I'll let you know that location.
Okay. Yeah, let us know that location. Maybe we can line it up. That'd be good.
Okay. Well, what a blessing to be with you. This is just, this is one of the craziest summaries. I have never done this to you where I'm just loading up and loading up and loading up, but I'm so grateful because this whole thing about Persia, this is an ancient thing that has never, ever been resolved until now.
I agree.
And now we know why we can call him King Cyrus, and the guys who were just saying it, so be it, guys. You didn't know what was going on, and now you're not happy with what he's doing, and he's doing exactly what needs to happen, because he's going to keep going until he's got peace around the world. There's no reason to be living in these wars. There's no reason for these fights, and there's only one group that wants to keep stirring it up. So here we go.
Yeah. Fantastic.
It's exciting. And that he went to Fort Bragg. Don't you love this? He went to Fort Bragg with Melania. Do you know what I mean? And you think of the timing, it's like he knew. You know what I mean? Anyway, it's just, and thank you for including, I had not seen that video with Melania. That was a real honoring thing, and how horrible that she had to stand in front of that microphone and go through that we treat people like this who had no connection whatsoever. They think just because she was a supermodel that, of course she had to be. It wasn't, they pretended they were going to make people models, guys. They were young girls that they took advantage of, just like they took advantage of somebody from Mar-a-Lago. And that's why President Trump had to boot him out of Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah.
He wasn't going to stand for it. So, because I've got a lot of friends who were supermodels in New York, and they knew exactly what was going on. But when you're a supermodel, you're not 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 being picked up out of, I don't think people understand Victoria's Secret yet. Do you know what I mean? And Wexler, he's still out and free and walking around. And I think, I don't know, maybe he's not. I mean, but they show him, so who knows? But they showed Tucker with Kent. Joe Kent, and guys, it's just so funny. And have you seen that video? If not, I'll get that video for you. It's so and the Mission Impossible music. That would just be really fun. So I'll get that for you.
Perfect. All right, Sheila, thanks so much. And last minute, great show. Everybody loves it. So thanks so much.
It's always great with you. I so enjoy these. So whenever you have another hour, let me know.
Sometimes it's fun just come on and just wing it. And that's what's going on in the world, and just run with it, because you have such a deep historical view of events. It really appeals to a lot of people. So it's good, very good.
Well, it's all dovetailing together. Everybody wonders, how can you piece this all together? I've been hoping this could happen for the people who are Persian and are stuck under Iran rule. I was hoping that Armenia could finally have peace. They've never had peace in all of history because they're believers. And we didn't understand that's why they're here to do this to us. But they knew at the time of the Civil War. We've done the whole thing on the soldier monument, I think, on the Civil War, where they knew they had to keep their own musket and their own cannonballs after 700,000 lives were lost. Guys, it's unbelievable how this just keeps happening in the world, and it's finally being addressed. So I'm so honored to have done this with you tonight. I just so appreciate this time.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for coming in, and we'll see you guys next time.